Brought to you by the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. I mean, I love these things, but they just, oh God, they wear out too fast. And soon you're a junkie. All right, let's get back to the mini max. We got some new recon for a week of preseason. 2 more weeks to go. Got a whole bunch of recon about these two guys sharing the backfield duties. Let's make 20 fucking lineups. 20 captains, Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. Is that we're going to have to do this every fucking time? Okay, great. Wonderful. Drake May. Make this go away. All of a sudden now. AJ Brown. Everybody's got to change their fucking terms of service. Ugh, go away. Go the fuck away. Sorry, I'm going to have to do this 20 times. Sam Donald. Together we'll mend your heart. Because Ramondre Stevenson. Zach Carbonet, even though he's out, I want to read why and then replace him. So no Tommy DeVito. Actually, we're not going to have fucking Zach Carbonet. He's not going to be a fucking captain. Get him out of there. And get Henderson in there. Mr. Henderson. This one will be Jadarian Price. Because this will be Romeo Dubs. Next will be Rahid Shaheed. Rahid Shaheed. Bobby Morton, Robert Gibson of the Rock and Roll Express, Keishawn Boutte. Ushka. Jason Myers. Cooper fucking Cup. Cooper Cup, oh God, ignoring Cooper Cup cost me a lot of goddamn money. Andre Boralagelis. Hunter Henry. AJ Bonner. The Seahawks defense, which I'm shocked is very low down after what they did in the fucking Super Bowl, but it's a whole new season. And they got a whole shitload of weapons. George Halani, who apparently might be running back one. Emmanuel Wilson all of a sudden popping up here. Mac Hollins. And finally, go away. Mac Hollins, and then what is this? This will be the Patriots D. All right, kids. Let's make some bloody fucking lineup. Yellow. Gotcha. Oh, nothing. We're on for tomorrow, 11 a.m. Actually, remind me, we gotta make a pit stop afterwards. I gotta pick up baby's meds. Sound good? See you then, mother. All right. Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. Top card in the deck. Anything new? Or is it just about him being coachable? Willing to be coached. We know that. We've read it 1,000 fucking times. We love the man, but these might be anti Smith and Jigba lineups. Let's go all the way down to the bottom and work our way back up top. Who the fuck is this guy? Mitch Van Noren. Waived on Tuesday. Signed with the Patriots near the start of training camp. The tight end was unable to make it with the Browns, being waived in August of 2025 while making it to a similar spot in the Patriots 2026 training camp. Van Buren will now be placed on waivers. And if he clears, he will become a free agent, able to sign with any organization. I'm glad we read that. All right, now we got a bunch of garbage down here. Mitch Foster Jr. Monterey Foster Jr. caught 5 of 7 targets for 36 yards and a touchdown in Saturday's preseason loss to the Cowboys, building on what has been a strong performance in training camp. Foster had a 5-yard touchdown catch and almost added a 68-yard touchdown to his stat line Saturday. But Drew Lock overthrew to an open Foster down the sideline in a game during which the Seahawks rested most of their starters. Foster's strong preseason debut could help him in his quest to secure a depth role in a Seattle wide receiver room that also includes Jackson Smith and Jigba, Rashid Jaheed, Cup, Tony Horton, Jake Bobo, and Emmanuel Henderson. The 25-year-old Foster will look to keep building momentum in Seattle's second preseason game against the Titans, August 23rd. Well, fucking A right. Lad Larrison, that was the guy we picked last time to be our sleeper. Could this guy Foster be our sleeper? Jam Miller, Jennings, Tony Horton. We got some new recon. What do we got? Horton didn't practice Monday, with Coach Mike McDonald saying the wideout is working through some things at the moment. Horton was a full participant during the first week of training camp after having a metal rod put in his lower leg in February to stabilize the shin fracture that ended his rookie season. He didn't play in Seattle's preseason opener, however, and he's now absent from practice as the team begins preparing for its second exhibition. It's unclear if Horton's current problem is related to the off-season surgery. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, fuck off. Douglas, I believe we read all this shit already. Key players didn't play in the preseason opener. Yeah, I'll read it. Fuck it. Was among the Patriots' key skilled players who didn't play in Thursday's preseason opener against the Colts. Also in that category were the team's top 2 wide receivers, A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs. While Keyshawn Boot, Matt Collins, and Kyle, we read this. We read this. Chance to resurface as a fantasy option in deeper formats. I need somebody for this fucking game. All right, we're now in captain territory. Patriots D? Absolutely not. That's not a captain. No captain there. Matt Collins, we loved him last time. What's going on this time? 2 targets for 4 of our targets. We read all this. You'll have a tough time carving out a significant role. So again, that's negative card. Get out. Get out, Mac. Sorry, buddy. Emmanuel Wilson. Sat out Saturday's preseason opener against the Cowboys. Wilson is managing what believed to be a short-term hamstring injury. Both Wilson and Jadarian Price are expected to be available for the start of the regular season, which may not be the case for Zach Carbonet. Even if Carbonet isn't ready to begin the season, Wilson apparently is likely to cede the majority of backfield opportunities to George Holani and Price. Wilson's next chance to see preseason action will be Sunday at Tennessee. Not good. Get out. George Holani. This guy's name just keeps coming around. Rushed 12 times for 42 yards in the Seahawks' preseason loss to the Cowboys on Saturday. Rookie first-round pick Jadarian Price did not suit up Saturday, paving the way for Holani's start. The third-year pro finished with the team-high figures in rushing attempts and rushing yardage, further cementing his status as a top complementary option behind Price and Zach Carbonet. Holani could play a key role early in the season given Carbonet's projected lack of availability, so it remains to be seen how heavily he'll be utilized in a road preseason matchup against the Titans. Further cementing his status. Key role early in the season. Bergani's projected lack of availability. This guy's the fucking sleeper, ladies and gentlemen. If we're all talking about him, he's no longer a sleeper. The third-year pro finished with team-high figures in rushing attempts, rushing yardage, further cementing his status as a top complimentary option behind Price and Carbonet. All right, let's see how much Holani comes up when we read about the other guys. Seahawks D, you got to keep them up there because of the fucking Super Bowl. They're always entitled to a captain's card. It's always George Holani. AJ Barner. Rested for Seattle's preseason loss to the Cowboys on Saturday. Most of Seattle's starters sat out Saturday's preseason opener, with Barner among them. Backup tight ends Elijah Arroyo, Nick Vanette, and Nick Kellerup each had one catch Saturday, and Eric Sauber is also competing for a roster spot at the position. Barner seems entrenched along the depth chart on the heels of a sophomore regular season in which he caught 52 of 68 targets and 519 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. Although Arroyo was a second-round pick in 2025 and is hoping to earn a larger role in his second season, much like Barner did a year ago. What the fuck does that even mean? That's not a good card. Henry, we got old news here. Old news on Borregales, making some shitty kicks. Again, don't force cards. That's not a good card. We like Barner because of his history, but we can pull those cards if they become expendable. Borrages, yes. No way. It's all about him fucking up. Cooper Kupp. Again, we want to keep him as placeholders now. Jason Myers scored a lot of goddamn points. Keyshawn Boutte logged 16 snaps in Thursday's opener against the Colts. Wasn't targeted, but's more notably suited up. All right, we read this. His path to targets looks murky. Play it up this way. Take out the cards that you don't like, or the cards you're not getting anything off. That one stays, but Barner, we got nothing new off Barners. Get him out of there. Nothing new on Henry. Get him out of there. Nothing new on Kupp. Get him the fuck out of there. Myers. So still trying to figure out how I want to run this. Myers missed his only field goal attempt from 45 yards out and made his only extra point in the Seahawks' preseason loss to the Cowboys on Saturday. The veteran kicker's miss went wide right late in the first half at the end of the 15-play march. Myers is coming off a 2025 regular season during which he recorded new career highs and made field goals and field goal attempts. He also tied a career best with 9 makes of 50+. Despite Saturday's miss, Myers is fully expected to serve as Seattle's place kicker again this season. I mean, look at that game log, dude. This guy scores. And scores often. Double digits in many games. You might have to consider him, but I don't think we're going to see him as a captain. I will call him a lot of things. But captain is not one of them. Like I said, Keyshawn Boot. I'm not feeling it. Again, we could change our tune. We could always change our fucking tune. Milrow, Baron Morton, Jalen Milrow, nothing there. Rashid Shaheed didn't suit up for Saturday's loss to the Cowboys. Shaheed was among the numerous Seattle Seahawks starters that sat out the preseason opener. Monterey Foster took advantage of his expanded role with 5 catches for 36 yards and a touchdown Saturday. Jackson Smith-Njigba remains the undisputed number 1 wide receiver for the Seahawks, while Shaheed, Cooper Kupp, Torrey Houghton, Jake Bobo, and possibly Foster or Emmanuel Henderson will compete for targets behind Smith-Njigba. Shaheed also is projected to maintain his role as the primary return man on special teams. Special teams. Maintain his role, primary return man. I'm not impressed. They're all competing for targets behind Njigba. Possibly Foster. Monterey Foster took advantage of the expanded role. I'm liking this Foster kid. But screw you, Shaheed. So we're keeping Holani, keeping the Seahawks D. Rashid Shaheed, you're out. We want captain's cards that make us feel confident. Romeo Dubs, the standout wide receiver during the Patriots training camp practice Saturday. Dubs won multiple jump balls and hauled in 3 high-point touchdowns in the red zone during team drills. The veteran wide receiver has demonstrated strong rapport with quarterback Drake May during training camp, and head coach Mike Vrabel said Saturday there's been a lot of positive things trending in the right direction for Dubs. Dubs and most of the other Patriots starters didn't play in Thursday's preseason opener against the Colts, though they could see some action in the next exhibition contest, which will take place Saturday against the Eagles. Strong rapport with Drake fucking May. Multiple jump balls, 3 high-point touchdowns. Well, Dubs is a fucking, yeah, of course, he's our fucking guy. That's a fucking keeper. Jadarian Price participated in Monday's practice. Tandata did note that practice was a non-contact session, but Price worked fully and saw reps with the first-team offense Monday, which puts the running back in a position to be available for Sunday's preseason game against the Titans. The Seahawks rested their key skilled players in past Saturday's exhibition opener against the Cowboys, with Zach Charbonnet trending towards missing time out of the gate this season. Price is primed for a key role in a Seattle backfield that also includes George Halani and Emmanuel Wilson. The team's unofficial depth chart currently lists Halani ahead of Price and Wilson third. But even if Halani has seen his share of touches come week 1, Price, the number 32 overall pick in the NFL draft, remains the upside play in fantasy terms, given that he also figures to earn a decent portion of the workload once the team's regular season slate opens Wednesday versus the Patriots. This is a lot about Halani. They were also saying even though Halani's going to see his lion's share, remains the upside play in fantasy terms. So there's your switch off. But he keeps his captain's chair. Nothing on Drew Lock, Travion Henderson. Chad Graff of The Athletic predicts Ramondre Stevenson and Henderson likely seem to share New England's backfield work evenly this coming season. During the 2025 regular season, Henderson recorded 180 carries for 911 yards and 9 touchdowns to go along with 35 catches for 221 yards and another score in 17 games, while Stevenson logged 603 yards and 7 touchdowns on 130 carries, adding 32 catches for 345 yards and a pair of receiving scores in 14 contests. Looking ahead to the coming campaign, Graff suggests the Patriots could lean more on Stevenson in short yardage situations and early downs, with Henderson as a candidate to check in for second and third and long situations, provided his pass blocking holds up. In any case, both players should still see enough work in 2026 to generate production, with Henderson's big play potential making it an appealing option for fantasy managers, in spite of the looming timeshare. So you got to pick these two together. Henderson and Stevenson got to play together. You're picking one, you're picking them both. Both slots. If you look, you take that 400 and put on that 6, it's basically 16 grand. You got to take them both, or you're going to fuck yourself. One's going to vulture off the other one. Charbonnet remains on the PUP list as the Seahawks' second preseason contest approaches. Since placing Charbonnet was on the Seattle's do not play list in Saturday's preseason opener against the Cowboys, the Seahawks haven't offered a concrete update on when the running back may return to practice. However, given that surgery to repair the torn ACL Charbonnet sustained during last season's playoffs didn't occur until February 20th, it's reasonable to expect Charbonnet will remain sidelined out of the gate once the team's regular season slate commences. In that scenario, fellow running backs Jadarian Price, George Halani, Emmanuel Wilson would be in line to see added opportunities early on this season. Seattle's unofficial depth chart currently lists Halani ahead of Price and Wilson third, while Halani figures to see his share of touches come week 1. Number 32 overall pick in the draft remains the upside play in fantasy terms in what should claim a decent portion of the workload, provided he can get and stay healthy before then. Well, goddamn. Ramondre Stevenson. Chad Graff of The Athletic predicts Stevenson and Travion are likely to share New England's backfield work evenly this season. It's the same fucking story. During the 2025 regular season, Stevenson gained 603 yards and logged 7 touchdowns on 130 carries while adding 32 catches for 345 yards and a pair of receiving scores in 14 regular season contests. Meanwhile, Henderson recorded 180 carries and 911 yards and 9 touchdowns to go along with 35 catches for 221 yards and another score in 17 regular season games. With the duo once again on track to continue to share the bulk of New England's rushing load, Graff believes the team can lean more on Stevenson in short yardage situations and early downs, while Henderson, who brings big play potential to the table, is a candidate to check in for second and third in long situations, provided his pass blocking holds up. In any case, while any sort of backfield timeshare can be tricky from a fantasy perspective, both of the Patriots' top backs should still see enough work to generate fantasy utility in 2026. Hot damn. You take one, you got to take them both. That's a $16,000 double card shot. Sam Darnold won't suit up for Saturday's game versus the Cowboys. Darnold will have 2 more opportunities to log some exhibition action before the regular season, with the next such chance coming Sunday. While the Seahawks receiving corps didn't experience significant changes in the offseason, the backfield lost Kenny Walker to the Chiefs for free agency. While Zach Carbonet remains in recovery mode from a January ACL tear, Donald thus will be handing off to some combination of rookie first-rounder Jadarian Price, George Halani, and Emmanuel Wilson to kick off the regular season. That's boring. It's a boring card. You're out. You're out, Darnold. You got to take risks, and one of those risks, sometimes you got to pull the fucking quarterback. A.J. Brown. Brown was among the Patriots' key skill players who didn't see action in Thursday's opener against the Colts. Also in that category were Drake May, fellow wide receivers Romeo Doubs and Demario Douglas, Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson, along with Hunter Henry. As the coming season approaches, Brown and Doubs are slated to be the team's 2 top wide receiver options, while Douglas figures to work out of the slot in wide receiver core that also includes Keyshawn Boot, Mac Hollins, and Kyle Williams, who also action Thursday. In his new locale, Brown is on track to log steady volume as May's top target, positioning him for weekly fantasy utility in 2026. May's top target. Brown is on track to log steady volume as May's top target. Demario Douglas. I feel like I got to read Demario Douglas again. We'll get to that. Top target. You got to stay. Drake May completed every pass during the first 2 periods of practice Monday, including a deep ball to A.J. Brown. The star quarterback is building chemistry with his new targets, Brown and Romeo Doubs. May hit Brown on a deep shot and had multiple completions to Doubs, according to Tiles. After a standout season, May is looking to continue his ascent with the help of some new star power out wide. Like that shit. Then we get to Njigba. So how many captains do we have here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We need a 10th. Make an even number. Let's see what Demario Douglas is up to. Demario Douglas. Let me read that one more time. Among the Patriots' key skilled players who didn't play in Thursday's opener against the Colts. Also in that category were the team top 2 wideouts, A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs, while Keyshawn Boot, Matt Collins, and Kyle Williams also action in the contest. Douglas is listed as a first-teamer along with Brown and Doubs on New England's unofficial depth chart, and it looks like he could be poised for an uptick in snap targets out of the slot this coming season, after seeing his catch total in 2025 drop to 31 during a 66-catch effort in 2024. In that scenario, the 2023 first round has a chance to resurface as a fantasy option in deeper PPR formats. All right, fuck it, Demario. If you're the 3-man, the 3-man can get in the fucking end zone. All right, we got 10 captains. You're in. Douglas, Halani, Seahawks, Doubs, Price, Henderson, Stevenson, Brown, May, and Njigba. Essentially, it's 5 cards that really stood out. Drake May, Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson, Romeo Doubs. It's 4 cards. No, A.J. Brown. I wouldn't say A.J. Brown stood up. They're just saying that he's a top target. And his new locale is on track to log steady volume as May's top target. But like Doubs, they're telling you, like, fucking high point jump balls. You like when a card stands out. 3 high point touchdowns in the red zone. Multiple jump balls. Strong rapport. The standout wide receivers. And Henderson again. They're telling you Henderson and fucking Stevenson are locked at the hip. They're telling you Halani's the man, but they're saying don't rule out Price. So our 4-card pair here. Drake May, Romeo Dubs, Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson. Let's see if it fits. So, May, Stevenson, Henderson, Dubs. Let's run it down to 10. So now we get Drake May already in here. So, Stevenson, Henderson, Dubs. And work out the rest. Brown, May, Stevenson, Henderson, Dubs. Full on New England stack. I don't even want to look yet. So now I got Stevenson here. So May, Brown, Henderson, Dubs. Oh, no, not Brown. We don't want Brown. Hang on. So it's not Brown, right? No Brown? Brown's a captain there, so he's there. Okay, so Henderson, Dubs. So Henderson. You get May, Stevenson, Dubs. You go Price, May, Stevenson, Henderson, Dubs. Dubs, May, Stevenson, Henderson. Seahawks D. May, Stevenson, Henderson, Dubs. Halani. May, Stevenson, Henderson, Dubs. Demario Douglas. May, Stevenson, Henderson, Dubs. Now you get all the way to the top here. You go right to the top, take the top card in the deck right there, Demario Douglas. Right alongside Jackson Smith and Jigba. You want to run a variant here if we want to run 20 lineups and throw $10 down. Then we just throw $10 down and put $5 down and do 10 fucking lineups. And then save it. You don't got to run it just to run it. The top card in the deck, leave 2,300 on the table right there. Bada bing, bada boom. Jackson Smith in Jigba. Going to keep these 10 windows open just in case we want some variants. That's 10 grand on the line in this fucking game and a lot of opponents in the way. Can we learn to be the ultimate contrarian? We take the top guy in the deck right there, Jackson Smith and Jigba. George Halani at the captain. We got plenty of days to go until this game. Some more recon stories will come in. Seahawks D at the top. Bang. Just take Jackson Smith and Jigba. Fill his ass right in. You get the itch. Itch, I call it. Romeo Dubs. So again, you can take the top card in the deck here. Or again, we could run a double. You could run Jackson Smith and Jigba. That'll give you 3,500 for Patriots D. Demario Douglas keeps another Patriots slaughter stack going. Tony Horton, if he gets his act together. We go all the way down and take our man, Montarius Foster. Leave 3 G's on the table. Now, let's say we went safe and we went with Myers. Let's say you went with Price. Can you get Price and Halani? You absolutely could. You get Price and Rashid Shaheed. Get Price and Myers. What do you went straight to Halani? What do you got? You go to Halani. Now, you don't got enough of Jackson Smith and Jigba, but you can grab Darnold. You can grab Price. I don't mind that. That 4 fucking running back line, it could be very twisted. You got May in there and you got Dubs. So we're going to run that one. We're going to run a variant. We're going to run a double. Dubs. And once again with May, Stevenson, Henderson. I want to run with Njigba. I'm going to come all the way down because nobody from 35 underneath. Nobody here. Patriots D, maybe? Nah. I'm running Foster underneath. And then another one here we're going to do because Dub's very impressive today. So Dubs, May, Stevenson, Henderson. And then we'll run, was it Darnold and Halani, right? Yes, it was. Darnold and Halani. So we ran Darnold Price, Darnold Halani, which I like. So we're running 3 Romeo Dubs lineups. All right, good shit. Where are we? Right here. Jadarian Price, what do we got? Enough for Shaheed, but right underneath is Myers. You go with the safe shot right there. We could run another one with Kalani, which we're going to do. I want to run one more. Jadarian Price, Drake May, Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson, Romeo Dubs, and go all the way down to George Halani. Leave 2,400 on the table. $10,000 lineup. Let's do it. All right, now we got Travion. We do the same thing we did over there. You go Jackson Smith and Jigba, and that guy Foster. We can go Price and Halani, right? Again, you get 64 Myers underneath. So Price and Halani I like, and then we're going to do another one. We're going to do Henderson up top. Jigba, May, Stevenson, Dubs, and Foster. Douglas looks interesting. And if Foster doesn't play, if he ends up not making the roster, we put in Douglas. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. And run this one. Will we get the full 20? All right. Similar thing with Stevenson. Again, you can run Jackson Smith and Jigba underneath, along with Foster, which is Australian for beer. All right, then we do another one. We'll have Stevenson up top, Drake May, Henderson, Dubs, Price, Halani. Bish bosh bash. Good shit, good shit. We could run another one, I believe, with Myers. That could also work. So this is just straight up 3,000. You can't run Douglas. We're going to run Foster underneath as our absolute fucking monster sleeper. That lineup is good. It's a little bit wild, bit of a slaughter stack. It's 50 cents. The silver dollar, baby. Drake May. Again, give him Jackson Smith and Jigba. And this Man Van Nuren, Foster. And then I want to do another one. Drake May, Stevenson, Henderson, Dubs, Price, and of course, Holani. Very much, very much. Thank you, Bruiser. That works. All right. Leaves us with Jackson Smith and Jigba. We're going to take Foster underneath. That lineup is good to go. That leaves us with 4 lineups left. You want to do the even? We're just going to leave that open. Just say, fuck it. Actually, no, we're going to get a little gimmicky. We're going to get gimmicky with these last $2. Fuck it, we're going to do that. Because I wanted to run each one with the kicker if I could. Which, again, is a Stevenson, May, Henderson, Dubs, and just Myers is too fucking valuable. Price. That's what I wanted there. Because I didn't get to do it before. I want to do the same thing with Henderson. So Henderson, May, Stevenson, Dubs, Price, Myers. Not sure if we've run those lineups already, have we? Let's see. So what do we do here? So we've run this one already. So dump Dark for let's get a little crazy. Seahawks D. You come out of Halani. It's out there. They score points. Fuck it. I'll get wild. Seahawks D in there. This one. This one's just as simple. We're going to change our Dubs round. I don't think we could do. Shit. Let's trade out Dubs for Myers. Makes sense. All right, good. Now underneath, I want to try and do a full-on Patriot slaughter stack underneath, and I want to get a Patriot captain. So again, it's going to be Drake May. It's also going to be Brown, Dubs, Stevenson, Henderson. Who could we afford a captain? Cooper fucking Cup. Or George Halani. Or the Seahawks D. That is a unique fucking play. I want to try that out. And then finally, I do something similar with a Seahawks, full-on Seahawks slaughter flex. This is Jigba, Darnold, Price, Halani, and Myers. Leaving you Stevenson up top or Henderson. Wow, you cunts. I think you take Dubs instead here. Dubs is the standout. You keep the money on the table. Boom! Done, ladies and gentlemen. Fate and fate decide your fortune if you should win. Blow your money right here on the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. Peace, love, and war.